Good morning, my friends. This was supposed to be a sunny morning, beautiful sunrise on the prairies. And I was gonna come and shoot this video for you, just a little reflection on Good Friday, but it's pouring rain. And it's cold and miserable, but it's perfect. Behind me are wheat fields. This is the prairies that I grew up on. Far as the eye can see, wheat fields, irrigation canals, pivots, wheel moves. This is where I spent my childhood. Growing up on our family farm, working with my brother and my dad, my sister and mom. And it was in the spring on this day, Good Friday, that we would go out picking rocks, almost invariably. It seems like every year. It was probably only a couple of years, maybe 4, maybe 5. But it seems like it was Good Friday, that's what we did. So it'd be a day of fasting, it'd be a light breakfast, a bowl of cereal maybe. And then we were out to the fields. And it was always windy. It seems like it was always blowing on Good Friday, but it was really just always blowing on the prairies. But the fields had been turned over in the fall, and so it was dusty. And the rocks had been turned over in the fall with the field work, and the settling of the dirt in the winter exposed new rocks. And so we had to get them picked out of the field for the spring seeding. But it always seemed to be this day that was blustery and windy, often hot, even in the spring, and dusty. The wind would be kicking up all kinds of dust, and we'd be walking the fields in front of the tractor. Dad'd be driving the tractor, and my brother and I, we'd be picking rocks, putting them in the front end loader, and then we'd dump them into these big piles, and they'd just sit there, and years of rocks would accumulate. And then we'd go in for lunch. That'd be the morning, and we'd pick several acres. In for lunch, usually a cheese sandwich, maybe some soup, and then usually back out for a couple hours more picking. You'd be scraping the dust out of your teeth as you got ready for church, cleaning out your fingernails, and have to take a shower again. And it was off to church at about 3 o'clock for the Good Friday service, where we heard about the crucifixion of Jesus. We heard the scriptures of his walk and really the stations of the cross, all the way to his death. And I admit it, I didn't always get it. I didn't always understand what we were doing at church. Heard the stories. I knew the story. I mean, I understood that, but I didn't really get it. But now looking back on it, I think about picking rocks on Good Friday, and I mean, it was a day off school for us, and so it was just sort of practical for the farm for Dad to put his young sons to work on the day off, and then it was Good Friday, and so we went to church. So that kind of made sense. But as I got to know Dad more, and as I got to know Jesus more, I wonder if Dad wasn't planning this. Because as we're out in the fields picking these rocks, now I'm looking back on it, we were carrying rocks. And Good Friday, Jesus was carrying me. One of my teachers, Dr. Scott Hahn, said that Jesus on the cross, he paid a debt that he didn't owe, because we owed a debt that we couldn't pay. And I was just having breakfast this morning, and I had the news on, and I'm hearing about beatings on airlines, and I'm hearing about chemical warfare attacks, and I'm hearing about rapes and wars and carjackings, and dear Jesus, I had to turn it off. But that's Good Friday. That's why we needed Jesus. That's why he came. Because of that brokenness. We do owe a debt. And I realize now that as I was carrying those rocks, he was carrying me, and that was him paying my debt. And so Good Friday has taken on an immense meaning for me, and it's not a happy day. It's a gloomy, dreary, rainy, freezing, dark day. But it's a promise as well that the good's coming. This rain, this freezing rain, this slush that's melting on my head, that's gonna be gone in 2 days. sun's going to rise and the stone's going to be rolled away from the tomb, and that debt's going to be paid, and Jesus is welcoming me home. And so I'm so grateful for Good Friday. That's why it's called Good Friday. There's nothing good about it except the fact that it results in Easter Sunday. So I'm thankful that I had this chance to bring you guys out to where I grew up and to share a little bit with you about what the crucifixion and the death of Jesus means to me. I had to take it inside the JRB, the Jeep recording booth. The phone froze, video froze, camera froze. I thought for sure I had lost everything, but it's all still there. I got it dried off and warmed up. So we're good. We're good. God bless you this weekend, tomorrow on Good Friday. I'm praying for you. I love you very much. And I hope that this Easter weekend is going to be a time of joy and family and celebration. And I also really pray that you're going to know God in a new way, and you're going to understand just how much He's caring for you in every detail of your life, and how much Jesus loves you and what He did for you and what He's going to continue to do for you when you trust Him. So God bless you and your family, all your loved ones around you, and we will see you real soon. Happy Easter.